a client here at the festival. Tell us about your tattoos, the situation you have going on right here.
So I got a lot of tattoos that I didn't want, so I'm getting laser removal on a lot of these tattoos. I'm getting them taken off. Don Sanchez is my tattoo artist on this side. Everything else is just, I love playing music. I love doing all my music stuff.
Are you a musician?
I rapped back in the day, made music. Yeah, stopped doing it. Still working on this, the lasers, so I can get this whole arm finished up. So.
How painful is it, the laser removal?
Laser removal is almost worse than the tattoo, but it's only like 2 minutes at the top, depending on what piece you get. So, yeah.
Wow.
Abdon, he passed away. He did this one, and then he did this one right here as well.
Very nice. What are you doing? It's Freddy.
So where were we when we got shot out of the saddle?
You talk about stuff that you've been asked before, but hopefully not. Well, let me just ask you a few questions. When's the last time you ever had a tattoo?
It would have been probably 5 years back, and it was the last one I'll ever get. But because it's the last hole I really have, like it's one love one another.
Wow.
Real small.
Yeah.
But that's the only hole I really ever cared about.
Do you actually have like a favorite?
I've done all the way down to my toes.
Yes.
Yeah. And so when people tell me, but you still have room, I go, no. I've got them on the sides of my neck and front and back of both ears, but that's it for me from here up.
Not the face.
No, not the face either.
So, do you know how many tattoos you have, or did you lose count?
Well, you know what? I guess I believe I did count, and I'm not sure, but I think I tattooed myself 44 times for sure, and I want to say I've been tattooed 172 times, or different sessions, by 125 people, I think.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I've got I have double layers of tribal on my legs, and well, I just loved everything about them, giving and receiving and designing, and it was just, well, like they say in Spanish, soy como soy, and I am what I am. I was just a kid that loved tattoos, and and I told my dad, I says, I can't explain it, Dad, but I'm gonna dig them till I die.
Do you see it as a trend? Is that what you would call it nowadays?
Well, I believe the day will come when you'll be thought of as almost an outsider in humanity if you don't have a mark on you, it looks like. Because, quite often I've heard the old saying that, and I'm not sure which tribe to attribute this to, but supposedly there's an old hag on the road to the happy hunting grounds that will stop you and check you for marks, and if you don't have any, you're not going past her.
Oh, wow.
So,
everybody, you said soccer moms have them.
Yeah.
Everybody has them.
Yeah.
And it's growing. It's never going to be stopped. It's something that's beautiful and awesome that we see, while we're filming these tattoo artists on their clients and seeing their clients just be happy. Those are your memories, of course, as well for you. It has to be, right?
Yeah, it's just like that banner, a poster up there. Tattooing is good medicine because, first of all, if you give someone, whether it's celebrating any moment in history or personality on their skin, no matter what, but those are sacred moments when you're doing memorializing loved ones or putting lovers' names. Those are pretty special moments in time, and there's nothing that will replace the feeling of getting a tattoo. You cannot duplicate that experience any other way. So if the person has a pleasant experience in the reception of that tattoo, and they're totally gratified with what you gave them, your gratification comes from knowing that they're gratified with what they received. Plus, you get a burrito out of the deal. So it's a perfect situation, you know. It's just like up there in the background there. It's just got all the reasons why it's good medicine, you know, because you have friends. I mean, it provides meals for you, and so on and so forth, all of life.
Yes.
You know, so essentially you're a medicine man, and you play that role for your community, and that's why I think it's what it's really all about, is serving your community. But there's so many, what I will call, dive-ass travelers now in this business. I was always a street tattooer though, and I just always felt like I wanted to be part of the community and not trying to serve the world, you know. But I do believe that regardless of what type of tattooer you are a medicine man, and you should be thought of as that for yourself at least, even though others may not give you that recognition. But nonetheless, you're experiencing a moment in time that will never happen again, and it can never be the same any other time. And so it's pretty special time, you know.
Yeah.
A special time in life. And like I said, it's the ultimate win-win-win situation, because they're happy, you're happy, and you made a living out of it, you know, as well as just putting a mark on them. And it's especially, I think, becomes more desirable for them to repeat the experience if they've had a pleasant experience.
Most definitely.
So that's why I just tell these guys to be, you know, that don't think you're too holier than thou, you know, to put that goofy little cartoon on them that their 9-year-old niece drew. That's real goofy and it's real crazy and it's real childish and immature, but that's what he wants. And so you got to give them the haircut they want, I say.
Yes.
You know, and I says, no matter what that subject matter was, if you satisfied the itch for that guy may feed you for the rest of your life, maybe. Or a lot of them are like my kids. You know, I've seen them all grow up and become superstars in this industry, and so I'm familiar with quite a few of the faces. Less and less I'm recognizing anyone though anymore at conventions, because they're attended by so many newbies, I guess one would say, that have interest in the industry for whatever reason, whether it's to be a part of it or just a collector. But regardless, it keeps expanding.
Yes.
And so because you've got so many new ones continuously getting on the train, it becomes harder and harder to even recognize anyone's work. Well, you can't anymore. There's just too many. But there was a day when there was probably only I remember maybe 400 of us in the whole nation that were tattooers. And there's that many in my own community right now.
Right.
So that just shows you how ridiculous it's become. I wouldn't even hire a relative 40 years ago who was a freak on tattoos. 40 years ago, and I told him, I said, no, because if all the people that I know right now start someone off today like you want to do, the day will come when we'll all be flipping burgers or tattooing each other. And I prophesied it, and look at it. Nobody would listen to me. They kept wanting to start new people.
Right.
The bus was already full, but now it's a never-ending train.
Yes.
They keep adding more cars too.
Right.
So that's the way it's become a phenomenon that is unexplainable. But I remember a guy telling me 15 or 25 years ago, sometime back, that tattoo was like a river. He says it keeps cutting a new course through history every day, forming new banks, you know, and it rolls along, and he says, and there's not a damn thing anyone can do to stop it, you know? And so we're looking at it right now. It's uncontrollable. I mean, a lady in the interview from England tells me something about being able to recognize. You remember the day when you could recognize tattoos and know who did them and where they were from? And I said, that's right. And I said, but today I might be standing behind a lady that's got a full bodysuit, a soccer mom at Walmart, and little Annie, who lives 6 houses from me, might have done that. So anyway, I'm glad I'm where I'm at. I'm happy with it, you know, in life. And I mean, how can you not appreciate the life I've had? 68 years of, you know, decorating my fellow man and serving him in what I felt was a honorable way, you know. And so I thank God every day that He gave me the life I've had and the wife that He gave me as well, because that goes hand in hand.
Yes, it does. It's a very important.
And I preach to these young cats all the time. I says, you know what? Tattoos are always going to be here. They're here. They're always going to be around. But quit chasing the dragon, man. I says, if you're just looking after another dollar, one more job, and then you're going to go home to that little girl that's been waiting for you, maybe with a baby in her belly, and she's just counting the minutes till you show up, and here you are thinking, I'll put on one more eagle, you know. What the hell? That's only a couple hours, you know.
Yeah.
And I says, and that'll become a habit with you. And I said, and then you're going to lose that good little girl or that good woman just because you're trying to make another damn dollar, and you're already provided for. You know, how many burgers does it need to make you happy, you know?
Right.
So that's the problem I see quite often. So now we're all just one of a bunch of some part of this industry, you know, because there's so many. You can't begin to name all the individuals in this world that are involved in tattooing now. It'd just be, well, God's the only one with the parchment big enough to write all those names down, I think. I mean, unless wherever the cloud is they talk about that is on social media, well, you know, I guess they're all recorded up there somewhere, but
Floating somewhere.
I don't understand all those terms because I don't even have a cell phone, so you can see what kind of a guy I am. I'm a simple man, but my social media needs are taken care of because of my wife and my gal Freddy. Sees me through it all and saves me all the headaches of trying to communicate with so many people about so many things, you know, and Kimiko does all that. And she kind of feels the home front, you know.
Right.
And this one guy asked me, he says, well, I just turned 50 years old, and I need to know, how does a tattoo artist retire? I said, you know, I'm just a very blessed man in this industry. And I said, I don't know how to answer that, because as an individual, I'm just taken care of in so many ways. But I said, the honest truth probably of my success lies behind 3 strong women. And he says, you got 3 women, Charlie? And I go, yeah, I got my wife of, I think, 59 years then. And I said, she covers the marital part. And I've got Kimiko. She takes care of all my social media needs. And, you know, arranges hotels and all that stuff for us. And I says, and my tax lady, she loves me.
Oh, yes, she does.
This story, and then we'll call it off. Okay, so I did a random stop at Paso Robles, California. I told my wife and Kimiko, I said, we were going from one convention to another. So we're traveling. And I said, so see how many tattoo shops are open in Paso Robles. See how many there are and if any of them are even open. And so we found one that I said, oh, well, let's stop in there. So we go in. Or we park, and this is called the Copper Coffin. So I walk in, and there's this 4 stations, 2 guys on phones, 1 guy on a tablet, and a huge man working on a woman. And when I walked in, this big man stands up and says, "Hey people, look who just walked in here." And he lumbers over there, and he picks me up like I'm a ventriloquist doll, and he starts laughing. And turning me in a circle like I'm a little child.
Wow.
And he's laughing and says, "I've wanted to meet you all my life." And he says, "So if I die today, I'm going to die a happy man." And so, he puts me down, and I said, "Well, I didn't come in here to mess up your cha-cha. You're working, And I said, "So, but I just wanted to see who was in here." And, I said, "So you've been a tattooer most of your adult life. It looks like you're busy. I won't keep you, but, you're the future of this industry, and so God bless you. And I guess I'll go." And so it was very brief. The next day, Kimiko, our assistant, she shows me her phone, and she said, "Look at this. This is a text message from Big Tom to his girlfriend when you walked out of the shop. And this message said, 'I just met my idol today, so if I die today, I'm gonna die a happy man.'" The same words he said to me. And she says, "Unfortunately, he died on the way home last night in a tragic car accident." Isn't that something? Now,
wow.
I didn't know Tom had an appointment with God, and I'm sure Tom didn't either. But that just shows you how our interactions in life affect. There's so many ripples in the pond that when our stone is thrown in the water, we don't know where those ripples will ever stop.
Right.
And so, Big Tom, and I said, "Well, at least he went to heaven a happy man."
Yes.
And I even said, "Put on there, rest in peace, Big Tom. I'll see you in tattoo heaven."
Yeah.
And I will.
And you went in there just to greet him, to see him, and you said, "God bless you, and I wish you the best."
I was just spreading the love,
Yeah.
And wow.
That's an amazing story.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that right there is for me.
Yeah.
What it's all about is just spreading the love, And in this industry, it's an ocean
Yes.
that can never be probably satisfied.
One person at a time, all over the world.
Yeah.
So a lot of people have your work on them, and that's amazing, And I'm pretty sure they walk around like, "Good time, Charlie did this one," They all share their tattoos and their stories, So just like you just did.
And so I've had several guys tell me when I'll say, "Well, look, do we really need this many anymore?" And they go, "Well, you only have yourself to blame. You started all this."
Yeah.
And so anyway, what a blessing life has been for me in tattooing, and I hope everyone that takes this occupation seriously and really looks at it as them being a medicine man and serving their fellow man in all these sacred moments. That's what I think. Even the centerpiece up here says it best. Yeah, let's read that, because this really explains it all. "This sheet is dedicated to the art and history of tattooing and Stony St. Clair, who is quoted as follows: 'I am in the business of rendering a service to this community for the small group of people who choose to have their bodies decorated in some way or another. I choose to pursue my profession with intelligence and skill, wishing not to offend anyone, but instead, with my love of mankind, do what good I can before I die.'"
Yes.
So don't that say it all?
Oh, yes, it does.
Yeah.
It does. Yes, it's an honor to even see this in front of me right now, and you reading it to everybody. Thank you so much, Mr. Cartwright. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Okay.
I feel so great. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
I'm gonna go home a happy girl. Back to Texas.
Well, thanks. Long live the ink. Yeah.
That reminds me of.